Right, this will be the second time I've recorded this video because my mad neighbour thinks that fixing a car involves getting in it and revving the nuts off it for about 20 minutes solid. So anyway, here's the HTC Wildfire. It used to be called the HTC Buzz. You might be able to hear his car still revving. Now this is it actually without the back on. And you can see here that the back of the phone actually also forms the front of the phone as well. Here's the back cover here, and it's got this lip around the front, and it's actually still got a bit of a chin, look. Now a lot of sites and a lot of reviews that you may have read, or previews that you may have read, have compared this to the bigger brother, the HTC Desire. Both have got Android 2.1 and the HTC Sense and Bluetooth and GPS and the 3.5mm audio cable, audio jack, and Wi-Fi and stuff like that, but this is a lower priced version. This is a HTC Wildfire, and it's got a 5-megapixel camera on the back. You can see I've not put the battery on at the minute, as opposed to the 8-megapixel on the HTC Desire. It's got a 528 megahertz processor instead of the 1 gigahertz that's on the HTC Desire, and we've also got a 3.2 inch QVGA TFT capacitive screen, but you get all the goodies. You know, apart from the only difference really is the screen size, the screen resolution, the camera resolution, and the what else? I've completely forgotten. The size of it. Oh, the CPU, the power of it, basically the speed of the phone. Now, this is coming out on loads of different networks. Vodafone, I believe, 3 in the UK, T-Mobile, and it's also going to be unlocked as well. So it's coming out quite cheaply as well. So this is really to get people on the Android ladder, a lot more people onto the Android platform, and using the HTC Sense interface. Now here, you put your SIM in there, and you've got a micro SD expansion, which is here on the side. And that's about it for the back. We've got, as you can see on the back, look, there's no protective thing on the camera. It's a hole, so there's no chance of any smudges or fingerprints. There's no stylus. That is so 2007 now. And we've got on the top here, we've got the 3.5mm audio port. I have to actually put the phone into the back like that. We'll slot it together, and you can see that chin. It's not a big chin, not like the chin on the Hero, or even to the on the Legend. This is quite a subtle chin on the phone, but it just maintains the HTC style. There you can see the industry standard micro USB connector on the left hand side. We've got the volume up and the volume down button there. There's a camera and a little flash with the external speaker here. We've got that band on the back, very reminiscent of the HD2, which was a Windows phone. But that isn't the battery cover, that's just a styling point. Lanyard loop there if you want to hang it on your wrist or around your neck, whatever you want to do. Very smooth edges here. This is a sort of a rubberized type feel, this bit here, and this is a very cool steel effect. HTC logo and a very curvy back, very holdable, if that's a word. 3.5mm audio port is sculpted into the top. Again, this is all very curvy, very nice here. There's that little lip that you have to use to take the back off. Power on and off there on the top. There it is booting up. We've got the buttons on the front here on this smooth black frame around the main screen. Home, menu, back, and the search button. The search button takes on different sort of functionality depending on what program you're in. If you're in Google Maps, it will search for a postcode or a place name. If you're in the browser, it'll do a Google search, etc., etc. If you're in Google Mail, it'll search your mail. This is a your trackball replacement. This is the optical trackpad or trackball, whatever you want to call it. But this will help you navigate around the fantastic HTC Sense interface. This has got Android 2.1. and it's got some extra functionality which I'll show you in a minute, because we're going to be doing a review on this. You may have already seen our gallery, because we went down to London and we were invited down to London to have a look at all the HTC Wildfires that were all stacked up. You may remember they were all stacked up in a pyramid. This hasn't got enough power to turn on, so here's one I prepared earlier. This one here. Now I'm going to show you something. Forget the contents of the box before we just power that one on. Here's a box, just got it out there. Very small box. I think the days of getting a big shoebox sized thing when you buy a phone are hopefully gone, so we're all eco-friendly and using very small boxes now. This is a box that was given to me by the fantastic guys at the PR team. This is the USB cable that connects you in. It's a standard sort of micro USB, industry standard micro USB cable now. So this will, I mean, back in the day when everybody connected their phones to their PCs because they had to to copy emails and contacts and stuff like that, you had to have one of these cables. A lot of that stuff is done in the cloud now, like Google. It will synchronize your email and your calendar appointments and your contacts through the cloud. But you can also use Exchange and other methods. You can even use your Twitter contacts and their contact details, or Facebook rather. You can use Facebook details. So that's your standard micro USB. PC goes in that end, phone goes in that end. But I wanted to show you something else here. This is the, I'll show you in the other pack. We've got the headset, nice pair of HTC headphones there, and it also doubles as your hands-free kit, so you can still go jogging, answer calls, press that little button there, make and receive calls when you're out and about or driving around. Of course, it does Bluetooth as well, so you can have a proper Bluetooth kit if you wish. Now, I wanted to show you, and it's not something we normally concentrate on, but they're doing little changes like this. And if you look at your current power pack or your charger, it doesn't look anything like that. This is the new HTC charger, and you can see it is very nice looking little charger, and that is it. Seriously, that is the charger. No cables trailing around, no big splodgy sticky out bit. Now, depending what country you're from, you'll get the corresponding plug to stick on the end. If you're in good old Blighty like we are now, or I don't know, Cyprus or somewhere, you get this 3-pin plug here. Now this, as you can see, marries up with that. So it'll only go in one way. You put that in like that, and then we give it a little twist. And there we go, clicks into place. We've got the USB output there, and that bit goes into your wall. So you might be able to hear my neighbour now revving up to about 8,000 RPM. There you go, plugs into the wall, so it looks a bit like that, and then you plug your charger in, your cable in there, and that plugs into your phone. So that's what I've done here with this one, because we've got two of these, and as I was going to say earlier, what we're going to do is review the HTC Wildfire, and we've got three of them. We've got three HTC Wildfire phones. I'll show you why. But we're going to give one to somebody that has never used an Android phone before. They've never even seen one, experienced one, they don't know how to use it, you know, they've never seen the HTC Sense interface before. One I'm going to use for the geeky sort of IT guys, and one my wife's going to use, so we'll see if it really is you know, good for everybody, this phone. What we're going to do, so this is what happens when you first boot up. I'm going to go through the first boot sequence. We've gone past the HTC boot screens that you saw on that one. I've got no SIM card in here, so I'm going to trip over in a few bits, but we first choose what country we're in. Then it says you haven't put a SIM card in, sort that out, so I'll skip that. It teaches you how to type with the on-screen keyboard, which is surprisingly easy. Now, the auto-correction system, which you may have seen in other cool smartphone videos, is very easy. If I type simple here, I've actually typed simpler with an R at the end on the left hand side, but it's auto-corrected it to simple. So it knows what word you're trying to put in. It won't get it right all the time, but for the most part, it will give you a choice of the words you probably meant to do. And just to accept it, you don't need to press any special keys, you just press space and it moves on to the next word. So I'll skip that, that's very good. Now it's going to say how do you connect to your internet, because we need to set up the phone and then we need to do a few things. So I'm going to say I connect via Wi-Fi. Now you can either have Wi-Fi only, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you don't have a data plan on your SIM, if you don't have a data plan, you say, well, I only want Wi-Fi, just connect when there's Wi-Fi. When I'm out and about, never ever use the internet connection on my SIM card on my network. So that's great really, but I'm going to say mobile and Wi-Fi. Connect to a Wi-Fi network. So it's going to do a search now for any Wi-Fi networks around here. We've got 2 open networks that my crazy neighbour has set up with his Revy engine. I'm going to connect to this my own DSL2 connection. I'll just put in my super secret password, which is probably something to do with an alcoholic beverage. There we go. I'm obtaining an address, so it's fairly easy. You can see even though you may not have even put the SIM card in, which is a bit daft to be honest, like I haven't, you can still carry on and get the phone going. Okay, do you want to use a Google location system? This will allow Google to collect anonymous location data. So this aids things like Google Maps and the weather widget, stuff like that. I'm just going to say yes to both of those things. And then it's going to ask you, you can synchronize your mail, contacts and calendar events by the settings, by setting up the following account type. Actually, I've noticed, by the way, HTC, you've got a spelling error there. You've actually put by settings up the following accounts. You want to correct that, guys. But I'm going to put in my Google account. You can have a POP3 account. If you've got a POP3 account, you don't have to sell your soul to Google to get this phone working. So I'm going to go off the screen here. I know I get a lot of comments on the YouTube videos, which I love, but a lot of guys say, well, why haven't you prepared this? Why are you going off camera and boring us while you're typing in your settings? And it's because I wanted to show you exactly what you would do when you're taking this phone out of the box, and I can't really get past this stage without typing something in. So I'll put that in there, and we can switch between, this is a keyboard here, the numeric and the alpha numeric keyboard down the bottom here. We can just sort of type that in now and press enter. By the way, press menu and it'll pop down. We can change the wireless settings there. I'm going to sign in. It's going to communicate with Google over the interwebs, and it says you've signed in. Well done. I'm going to skip that. I don't have an Exchange server or a POP3 account. Facebook you can connect to, and it will pull in details, contact details and updates, and the gallery pictures, all the pictures people are showing on their YouTube, on their Facebook page will show up on there. Flickr, which is a Yahoo service which allows you to share photos, and Twitter, which of course everybody knows. I'm going to skip that for now, but you can add those in later or now. It says what date is it? It's the 18th of June today, and that's right, so I'm going to skip that, and then it just shows you a little bit more about the phone. So I'll finish that, and here is the HTC Sense interface. What we're going to be showing you is the app sharing system on here. I'm going to download apps because like any Android phone you can download applications. We can press home on here and we can switch out. Look at that. So instead of having to do this, I need to get to the last tab where my email access is, or oh, I've got to slide, and oh, it's so difficult. You just press home, or if you not on the home tab, you press it twice, but if you're on the home tab, and then you can pop out and just instantly slide into the tab in question. So here, if we go down here, we've got this app sharing feature. I can't use it just yet because I have no apps, but it's easy enough to install stuff. And for those of you that have never ever used an Android phone, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Let's go into the Android market. It's going to ask me a few things like, do you agree to the terms and conditions of the Android market? And I'm going to say yes to that. And then we'll do a search for some application. Now up here you've seen that search button down on the screen, or we can press the search button down here and it instantly goes into searching the Android market. So let's do a search for, I don't know, let's do a search for BBC. Let's have some BBC News applications. Does a search for you, produces the results. You click on the app you want, tells you a bit more about it. Slide down, there's a nice picture, and you go, right, I want to install that, it's free. Do you agree to it having network access, which is pretty obvious, you need that. Say yes. You can see the screen is slightly lower resolution, but it's still very usable indeed. Up here we've got this this bar that you can slide down, the information bar. It tucks all the notifications away, but you can still see them when you need to, so that you're not bombarded with information all the time. It's there, but it's nice and neat and tidy. So it's successfully installed, and then I can simply click on it and I can go into the application. It'll download the most recent news items from the web. You can change from different news sections, and you think, wow, that is a really cool app. Look, I can go into sections, I can go into England, I can look for my local area, for news in my local area, or sports news. I think that's fantastic. I mean, look at this. This is about a mother and a young child, and the young child was having a bit of a paddy fit, so the bus driver threw her off the bus, which is terrible. So you can double tap, zoom in supposedly. Oh no, you don't need to do that, because that's the app saying you can double tap, but you don't need to. You've got the pinch to zoom, pinch and zoom stuff, and it will do this reflow system you may have seen us mention in other videos, where it moves the text and so it stays on the screen, so you're not scrolling left, right, left, right, left, right all the time. So I like that application, brilliant stuff. I'm going to press into the app sharing feature now. For some reason it still says you've got no apps, so let's have a look, see if we can refresh this. And I think that is that's a bit wrong. There we go. So there's the app share, the BBC News. I like that. I want to share it. Now you can share it via FriendStream. So if I click on that, that will send it via Twitter or via your Facebook account. Now I haven't set that up yet, so it's saying, hey, you don't appear to be logged into any social networks. Are you mad? And I just go, no, I just cocked up. You can also share it via Google Mail, so you can send an email to somebody and say, this is a really cool application, check it out. You can send it via POP3 email, you can send it via text message, you can send a peep, which, well, this is a tweet basically through the HTC peep interface, which is the HTC way of displaying Twitter updates, and it's very good, I must say. Let's say a text message, and there you go. It's put this in there automatically for me. You can type in, you can see it's pulled some of my contacts from Google already. I've got Emily Jane Young in there, and it's put her email address in there already. Whatever I start typing now, if I start typing their name, I just need to, if it's like Bob, if I type B-O, then straight away Bob would come up. So I can sort of take the keyboard away by pressing back, and down here you can see it says I've been using the BBC, oh crikey, sorry I've cocked up, I've been using the BBC News and I think you might like it, check it out from an Android phone. So if your friends have got an Android phone, they simply press that link there that it's created, market.android.com/search/, and you can share that application with any other Android user. Don't have to necessarily use a HTC phone, don't have to necessarily use a HTC Wildfire phone either. Nice big keyboard as well there, it's very easy to type on. So that's a little bit about the app sharing feature, and that's what we're going to be reviewing. We're going to see how easy it is to share applications between the phones, so I'll be sharing that application from that phone to this phone, etc. Now, we've got other apps which have been installed for us. The flashlight, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. And that, as you can see, turns on your little flash on the back. we've also got the FM radio, which I'll need to plug in the 3.5mm audio headset that was supplied. It's detected that up the top there. I'm going to click onto FM radio down here. It's loaded up. It's turning it on. It's going to do a scan of the available radio stations, and it will tune in to their most powerful ones, preset them so that we can flick between them. This is radio 2. I'm going to see if it gets RDS. It's come up with BC for some reason, but I presume that will correct itself in a minute. Press menu, press speaker. So you don't have to listen to it on these headphones. You can have it in your pocket with this just trailing around if you want. I've got a new email at the top there. I can pull this down. I can see that I'm listening to the FM radio, and that should display the radio station identity. Let's just see. Probably just a signal strength. There you go. So BBC Radio 3. So I can see that I'm listening to FM radio on 90.5 megahertz. It's Radio 3. I can see I've got an email. I can see I haven't checked my time yet, and the SD card's not in, which is understandable because I haven't put one in yet. Check my email, have a look at the mails. Yeah, I've got some junk. I'll just sort that out. Just delete some of the junk mail. Go back home. Very nippy, as you can see. There's no real lag at any point. So I've sorted out my email. I don't have to turn my computer on. I don't have to fuss around, mess about with that. I can save this. I can switch it to mono. While I'm listening to the radio, let's do a bit of browsing. I'll just show you how easy it is to browse. This is the inbuilt browser. You can download other browsers like Skyfire if you wish. This is downloading the HTC website, which is the default page. You can change that, press menu. I'm still listening to the radio. I'm just going to turn that off because opera isn't what I'm into, really. So let's go home. Internet. Here's the HTC website, and it's very smooth to sort of browse around. And there, HTC Wildfire, bring your friends with you. But just let's remove the headset. You can see, look, I've just moved the screen around. I could do the pinch and zoom again. Very, very smooth. Zoom in. Let's see if we've got a site with any flash. Let's see if we can show you some flash stuff. Now, let's see, what website would I browse to? As you can see there, it just popped up with a few sites. It does come up with some sites that it's guessing that you're trying to go to, and it will display them as you type, and it will also use your history. If you've browsed to a site before, it will go to that site. Here's our site, and this should be maybe a flash animation. We'll just see if it loads. I'll just zoom in. As you can see, I can zoom in and move around whilst it's loading. I've got a bit of a problem with my internet connection at the moment. It is running quite slow. This isn't the phone that's at fault. It's the broadband connection is running very slowly at the minute because there's some sort of football event on, which is yanking all the bandwidth. We can, there you go, this is a flash based advert there. We can, if you wish, look on YouTube. If I just click on this video here, it will go straight into the YouTube website, and it will load up the separate YouTube application which has been put into this phone for you, so you can view YouTube videos on the move. This is our Android app review show. So this is a great show to watch if you're interested in the applications that are available for this particular phone on any Android phone. There's Tom, and he goes through all the recent Android applications that are available, and he gives them a review. It's great, a great show. So you've got a calculator, calendar, clock. You've got footprints for sort of recording where you've been in the world and tagging GPS locations to them. A desk clock, which is very nice for looking at like that, so you can see what time it is. You've got the weather here at the top. We can go into Google Maps. We can do all the things that you would normally do with Google Maps. I'm not going to go into that right now. And it is a very, very quick, very versatile handset, and I must admit that for the price point it is fantastically good. I mean, what you're seeing here, you can totally customize. You can change the backdrop. If you don't want this cool funky backdrop, you just press menu, settings. You can personalize everything, change the ringtones, change the wallpaper, change the lock screen, the default ringtone. There are stacks of them. There's the old phone, there's happy, glass, and lots and lots and lots of different, very clear, very professional ringtones. You can download or stick an MP3 on there. But I'm getting carried away because this was only meant to be an unboxing video. It's turned into a 25-minute monster. But the HTC Wildfire, you'll see more over the coming days at coolsmartphone.com, and we'll have a review online soon with the experiences of all those 3 people using the HTC Wildfire. From my opinion, I think that is a fantastic phone for the money. Really fantastic, well designed, well put together. The HTC Sense interface is great. If you do want a slightly higher resolution screen, you know, for the people that do want that, the Desire, you cannot beat. The Desire is a fantastic phone. I must admit, I cannot say anything bad about it at the moment. But for the money, this is a really, really epically good handset, I must admit.